Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second first edition of the CanUSA Olympics show. I'm Robert Tomlinson,
I am Joey Langdon.
and for the six of you that listened yesterday to the recording, we apologize profusely for that. It was mostly on my end with all the clicking and the popping and the audio distortions, and on behalf of me and Joey, we apologize, and we're hoping we get this right this time so it's not a total train wreck. All right, so basically, so Joey, could you give them a sense of what we're doing with this show?
So what this show is going to be basically two countries' takes on what is going on in the Olympics right now. Basically recapping what is going on and how it is viewed in their specific country.
Okay.
I think I got that right.
Yeah, I think you got that right as well. So yeah, and also spoiler alerts as well, because one guy here, his
Hello?
country has a better streaming policy than NBC over here in the States, and
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, how CBC is running it, and I applaud them, is they're running. First of all, they're a public station, but they're also running it on. They're showing events on the two cable stations, Sportsnet and TSN, and they're also having 12 live streams on the website. So I was able to watch the events a bit sooner than the NBC feeds.
Yeah.
First of all, the team figure skating was fun to watch, but then it got really anticlimactic.
Yeah. Yeah, the team figure skating being one of the events that wrapped up today.
All right, Rob, do you want to take a guess who got gold, silver, and bronze? Quick guess.
Okay,
No
gold had to go to Russia.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I
gold
mean,
had
I'm not
to go
gonna
to
tell you till I
Russia.
guess. I'm not gonna guess. I'm not gonna tell you if you got it right or wrong until you get gold, silver, and bronze.
Silver.
And
I want to say silver went to... Oh,
no
man.
cheating.
I'm not cheating right now. I don't even have the internet open right now. I want to say went to Italy, and I'm probably wrong in that. They probably dropped out of that. Bronze? I'm not sure. Maybe Japan? I don't know. But I think maybe fourth place might have been USA, but that's just what I guess.
All right. You got 1 out of 3 right. Russia did get gold.
Yeah.
Canada got silver,
Canada got silver, huh?
and the United States got bronze.
Woo!
So Italy and Japan finished, I believe, 4th and 5th.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. And apparently Canada did better.
That also brings Canada up to 4th, and the United States remain at 3rd.
Yeah.
They have the same amount of medals, but the United States has 2 golds, while Canada has 2 silvers.
Okay. So what does the medal table look like right now, Joey, as we stand here on, what is it, day 3?
I believe so, and Norway is still sitting in first place with 7 medals, 2 gold, 1 silver, 4 bronze. The Netherlands, still riding off their speed skating performances, are sitting in second with 4 medals, 2 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. The United States are in third, also with 4 medals, 2 gold, no silver, and 2 bronze. Canada and Russia are tied for 4th, again with 4 medals, both with a gold, a silver, and a bronze. Austria in 6th with a gold and a silver, and then Poland, Germany, Switzerland, and Slovakia are tied at 7th with a gold each.
All right. So there's that. Regarding the Netherlands and the speed skating, I watched a little bit of that last night over here, and my goodness, I was impressed. They did really well. They swept the medals, if I recall correctly.
In the 5,000 meter men's, the Netherlands aren't really considered favorites in any other event other than speed skating, so they're doing something right.
Yeah, and I heard that the women's might have swept as well. I'm not quite sure on that.
If if what I have here is updated, they got 1 gold in the women's.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a little sense, yeah. You also mentioned the team figure skating. That was a very good event, a decent finish. I mean, albeit anticlimactic, but that was pretty good.
Because before the final portion, the only reason I say it was anticlimactic, you knew, like, Russia had already clinched gold and Canada had already clinched silver going into the final event, final portion, and United States was, like, the U.S. would have had to finish last in the final heat, and Italy or Japan would have had to finish first. So it was pretty much all said and done going into the last event. So that's the only reason I found it anticlimactic.
Yeah, and also one of the Russian team did really well as well. One of the one of the big performances from the Russians last night was by I forget the first name, but the last name was Lipnitskaya, 15-year-old phenom. She did really well,
and she skated again today, and I believe she won by at least 10 in her heat. I have it actually up right now. She was able in the women's free skate. She had 141 points. Second place had 129, and that was seen as a very high ranking as well. So it was like she is extremely talented. Of course, she's in the Olympics, but she's 15 years old and pretty much demolished everyone below her.
Yeah,
so,
she has a bright future ahead of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think she got like it's better than like a 70 from the judges in the team figure skating one, and I was impressed.
Yeah, she got 72 in the first round.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it is very exciting to see a lot of the athletes you don't get to see in mainstream, especially in North America. I think the only mainstream winter event is probably going to be the National Hockey League.
Oh yeah, definitely. And hockey starts pretty soon as well.
Women's hockey started, I believe, last night, or yesterday morning, I suppose. Canada beating Switzerland, and the United States beating Finland. Group B started today, and Japan. I remember in our previous recording, I said that Japan would probably get blown out in every game. They actually only lost 1-0, and I watched the third period of that game, and like they were pressing hard.
Well, that's good. That's pretty good, especially since you thought Japan was going to get blown out of the water.
Yep. Something that's interesting about how they're running the women's hockey, though, is they put the top 4 teams in Group A and the bottom 4 teams in Group B, and all the teams in Group A are going to make it to the next round, and only the top 2 of B are going to make it to the next round. It's interesting how they're doing it. I think they're just trying to set up a Canada-USA match, just trying to guarantee one.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting that they would do it like that. But it also kind of makes sense because you want the viewership around the world for those final matches as well.
And I guess another thing would be Russia in Group B. They get more competitive matches, even though this now means they're not guaranteed to be in. They have to finish top 2. It does give them like closer matches, so it'll at least keep people watching instead of getting blown out in Group A. So it's fairly interesting.
All right, so moving on. The opening ceremony was a couple nights ago, and we kind of have to go over that since this is the first broadcast. It was very well done, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, the production value was amazing. I thought it was really good. A lot of people I talked to was really good. I think out of everyone I've spoken to, I think only one person didn't like it, which I thought it was amazing. The production value was great.
Yeah,
the
opening ceremonies were very
going into it.
Yeah, the production value of the whole thing was very well done. A couple of things that I would have liked to see. NBC broadcasted the opening ceremonies a little on tape delay, which when does NBC not do tape delay for anything?
We got to see it 3 times. At
Yeah.
noon, at 4, and then when you guys had it.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy over here in Canada, he's luckier than me when it comes to broadcasting the Olympics as well.
Just the Olympics.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, one thing I would have liked to see though was NBC explaining a little more on the history of Russia when some of the videos were going on. I was kind of confused on a couple areas, like there's this scene where there's people chopping wood, and then there's this man handing out stuff, and I was like, what in the world is going on?
I have to ask, did NBC, did any of their broadcasters do, a sort of a play-by-play as it was going on, or was it just the show?
I think it was more for the live action parts than the video itself.
Yeah.
And there's one infamous moment during the Parade of Nations as well. And you saw me tweet about this a little bit, and you had no clue what was going on.
Yeah, it was very confusing, and Google did not help. I think I know what you're bringing up too.
Yeah, and there was one point in the Parade of Nations. There are a lot of points where people were thinking hey, this is going out of order. What's going on? And Meredith Vieira, who is helping out with the broadcast for NBC, she comes over from the Today Show. She said that it went by the Cyrillic alphabet that the Russians use. And she said, and I quote, "If you need more info on the Cyrillic alphabet, Google it." Yeah, and a lot of people on Twitter were not happy with that statement. I mean, they were pretty much chastising her and Matt Lauer the whole night for saying stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't really notice they were using the Russian alphabet till I think hang on, I gotta figure out which country it was. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, it was. I saw Chile, China, and Croatia go, and then Denmark went, and I wondered where Canada was, and I found out they were going by the. That's when I clued in that because Canada in their alphabet begins with a K. So
yeah, and also one of the more underrated moments of that was probably where they went through the Cyrillic alphabet in one of the videos. That was pretty well done.
Mm-hmm. I like the opening ceremonies a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I did see you mention that one of the songs in the background was a well-loved song on the internet. If you care to explain.
Yes. One the live action portions when they were going through the history of Russia. It was like the modern era of Russia, and this was after the whole Soviet Union stuff. They in the background of the whole thing, well, not the whole thing, but a portion of it, they had the Trollolo song in the background, and I didn't see a lot of people notice it on Twitter. I was one of the only ones that even had a little enthusiasm about it. But I found that very well done. I found that very hilarious to find that in there. But I'm also kind of not surprised about it because of the fact that it was originally a folk song in Russia.
Yeah. I mentioned my friend Mike. I was talking to him and during the opening ceremonies, and he noticed that at one point I couldn't pick it up myself, but a Daft Punk song, I can't remember the title, but one of the Daft Punk songs was playing, and I couldn't pick it up, but he says he swears up and down it was, so
yeah, I saw
someone's
gonna... Yeah, I saw a lot of people cluing in on that as well. I really couldn't tell either, because I'm not really a huge Daft Punk fan, but I saw a few people on Twitter talking about it.
Yeah. One of the things that definitely made headlines was when they were brought up the Olympic rings, and like 4 of the rings opened, but one of them didn't. So you see like the grand Olympic rings come up, like it's supposed to be Snowflake that opens into the Olympic rings, and then one just like a snowflake. So it was like 4 rings and then a snowflake.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was like one of the only gaffes from the night as well.
Yeah, and I think every Olympics is gonna have at least one. I remember in Vancouver, one of the portion of the torch that Catriona LeMay-Doan was gonna light didn't come up. So I did like how they made a joke about it though. How in the closing ceremonies they had like an engineer mime to pull it up, and then she got delighted. So maybe they'll do something like that for the closing ceremonies of this one.
Well, I actually didn't know that. I didn't really watch the closing ceremonies that much in Vancouver, but that's funny.
Yeah.
All right. So, a funny thing about that, those Olympic rings, somebody on Twitter had a little fun with that. And I'll probably show the picture on the broadcast, on when it goes on YouTube, but there was a picture on there. It showed all of the AL West teams in baseball. You know, the Mariners, the Angels, the Rangers, and the A's in the 4 big spots. And then you had the Houston Astros in the little one. That just shows you the state of the AL West at this point.
I didn't see that.
I think SB Nation tweeted it out.
It's probably up as we're saying it, and I'm laughing having never seen it. So, that's unbelievable.
I'll probably put a picture of that on the YouTube broadcast because that's hilarious. All right, so moving on. As we mentioned before, I'm from the U.S., the frozen north, where we're colder than the North Pole right now.
And I am from Canada, where it is colder than the North Pole right now.
Oof. Which really sucks.
Yeah,
it does it. Yeah, there's like a snow pile outside my yard that's like as tall as me.
I shouldn't be complaining too much. I do live in an area that's actually south of a lot of Michigan, so like I could go northwest and I'd end up in Michigan. Yeah. So I feel for my my countrymen living in like Manitoba and Northern Ontario who are just getting pounded.
Oh man, yeah, because I heard there's a good amount of snow coming that way soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
And yet here in Michigan, in Detroit, you can go south and you'll end up in Canada. So, roads. Anyway, because we're from different countries, we don't really know a lot about each other's Olympic habits. So, what are some of the Olympic sports, Joey, that are kind of popular over there in Canada?
Well, definitely ice hockey. I know in the States probably ice hockey is going to be a big one because that's a sport people can recognize. But like ice hockey, we watch the World Championships, we watch the World Junior Championships, which I know it's on TSN, our ESPN here, and is on the NHL network in the States. But as far as like we have in non-mainstream, curling is mainstream here. Like, it's mainstream. The national championships are shown on our national networks. Then I guess for the individual events, figure skating's getting a lot bigger, especially where I'm from. And then also, mogul skiing actually got a huge boost in popularity last year and again this year, where the first gold medalists both times have been in mogul skiing. Alex Bilodeau last year, and of course, Justine Defour-Lapointe this year.
Yeah, and didn't her sister also medal?
Yeah, there was 3 sisters competing, and it was Justine Defour-Lapointe got gold, Chloe got silver, and I believe the third sister's name is Maxine, and I think she got 12th.
Yeah, because I know Hannah Kearney for the U.S. finished third in that one.
Yeah, and Hannah Kearney is just definitely she had to be really good for her to make that error and still finish bronze.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to our topic of discussion. What are the main sports in the United States? Like, what do people watch when they turn on the Olympics?
Well, like you said, hockey is and the NHL is a niche sport as it is here. But
Hmm.
for the Olympics, hockey is fairly well watched. We're also we also do a lot of figure skating as well. We like watching that over here as well. Speed skating is also pretty good as well. I mean, you had Apollo Anton Ono a few years ago, and
Mm.
in Vancouver and then in Torino and all that. Um, so speed skating, hockey, um, ice skating, well, ice dancing and all that, figure skate, all that good stuff. That's really the only ones I can think of right now that the U.S. is really invested in. I may be missing a few that I mentioned on the last recording, but yeah, that's the sports that we're pretty well invested in here in the states.
Oh, when you mentioned Apollo Ono, that reminded me. I know he grew up in Vancouver actually, but it reminded me watching the team figure skating event today. They mentioned that the Japanese representatives, their names are like one guy's name is Chris Reed. He born and raised in the United States, had an American father, but because they like it's brother and sister, they both had a Japanese mother. They decided like they won the U.S. novice championships, and then they decided, oh, let's go represent Japan instead.
Really, I did not hear about that. That's intriguing.
Yep, and I believe a Summer Olympian. I'm. This doesn't sound very good because I don't even remember what sport he was in, but he was a Canadian, and apparently he had like a falling out with the Canadian Olympic Committee, and he decided to represent Australia instead. And I think it wasn't Sydney. I think it was Athens. So that's what I know about that.
All right,
Like
so
it's a thing that happens.
moving on, the first medals of the competition were in the men's slopestyle competition. That's one of the new events that was in the Olympics this year. Sage Kostenberg of the USA won the gold medal in that
And
event.
Mark McMorris of Canada took the bronze, so we were both represented in that one.
Yep, that was pretty good. My mom actually commented on the course, and as you know, Shaun White dropped out of that event to focus more on the half pipe. She said that if Shaun White dropped out of that competition, she thought that the course was pretty extreme. That he was
That
making a pretty good decision.
that's what people were saying. Like there was a lot of people who actually stayed in the race who were like saying, "I don't want to do this. This is like the reason Shaun White dropped out instead of dropping out of another event is he said this course is way too dangerous."
Yeah, and it kind of looks like it, especially those three jumps at the end. But I think the gamble really kind of sort of paid off. It was a very good event.
It was very entertaining to watch. I think if in Pyeongchang, if they bring it back and they have a better course, it'll be much better, and a lot of the big name guys will stay in it, and it'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting concept, and I'm interested to see how it works in the future. And also the fact that there is a huge nesting doll on the course. That's pretty funny. I might have a picture
I don't think.
of that.
Yeah, put that up.
Yeah,
Put that
yeah,
up, Rob.
yeah. I'm probably putting that up on the YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
recording of this. Okay, so yeah, and also the team figure skating happened. As you know, Russia got gold. Who got silver again?
Canada got silver in that.
Yeah, that's right. Canada got silver, and the U.S. got bronze in that. Um, there were a couple hockey games yesterday as well. The USA being Finland and Canada being Switzerland. Um,
Canada versus Switzerland. The game should have been like 12-0. It was a very bad game.
yeah, especially the shot disparity as well.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, the Switzerland goalie stopped 64 shots and
Yeah.
still got the loss. That's crazy.
That's like not long ago, the Edmonton Oilers, Ben Scrivens faced 59 shots and
And stopped all of
he
them.
got a shutout. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
dominating.
Something else is the Group B, as I mentioned how Group B works in the women's hockey. So you got to finish top 2 in that. I'm really watching Japan. I mean, they held their own against Sweden, and Sweden's the only other country other than Canada or USA to get a silver medal in the Olympics. So I'm definitely watching Japan. If they can beat Russia or Germany, that definitely shakes up the group, and they could end up qualifying with just one win if they can upset one of them, and that'd be definitely fascinating to see a three-way tie in that, see how they break that.
Yeah. Another news in the past couple days. Forgive me if I butcher the name. I'm going online real quick for that. Somebody from Norway in the men's biathlon. Ola Einar Bjorndalen got the most
You
medals.
did it!
I did it. Yes.
Yeah.
I finally got the pronunciation right. First time. He got the most
I was gonna
medals
say-
in Winter Olympic history or something like that with his I believe gold medal performance in the 10K yesterday.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for those of you who didn't see yesterday's recording, Rob tried to say that name about 6 times.
Yeah, and it did not go well at all. Not at all. Alright, so there's that. There were a couple other stuff yesterday, and I forget a lot of stuff, but it was all good. It was all good.
Yeah, it was all good. It was a great show.
Yeah, and also, I believe... luge happened yesterday.
Luge!
Yeah, luge. Francis Locke got gold for that for Germany, if I do recall correctly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find that right now.
Yeah. And that pretty much concludes the highlights of the past couple days. If we forgot something,
I think unless that was earlier today, because luge either just wrapped up or you guys actually saw it before us, because that just came on like not long ago here.
Well then, spoiler, I guess. Spoilers.
I could easily look it up online if I needed to.
All right. We're just about getting to that time. We're gotta wrap stuff up.
Oh, let's pick our let's see who's gonna do well tomorrow. What's going on tomorrow?
Oh, what's going on tomorrow? I don't even have the schedule in front of me. Oh man.
Well, anyway, I believe tomorrow. Okay, I have it up.
All right. What's going on tomorrow, Joey?
Hang on, my computer is loading. Okay, what's going on tomorrow? First off, we got women's super combined downhill, and then women's super combined slalom will be the first medal event of the day. Later on, biathlon, men's 12.5 kilometer pursuit. That is another medal event. Curling begins. Men's round robin first. The notables, Canada plays Germany. USA has the first bye in that. And for women's, Canada plays China. The United States plays against Switzerland. And then another men's, because in curling they play 2 games a day. United States against Norway, Canada versus Switzerland. And then freestyle skiing, moguls final. That's the event Alexandra Bilodeau won in Vancouver. That was our first gold medal on home soil ever. Women's hockey, USA versus Switzerland, and Canada versus Finland. Luge qualifying, short track, speed skating. We have the entire schedule. It ends with the men's 50,000 meter medal event. And then later, it's the long track speed skating, men's 500 meter medal event. That is what's happening tomorrow.
All right. So we will we're gonna sign off here real quick. Any final thoughts, Joey?
I've learned my lesson from yesterday. Go Canada, go.
You beat me to it. Go USA.
Yes.
Go USA. USA. Okay.
Canada, Canada.
Our country is more chantable than yours.
Yes, it is. Now, UNITED space OF space AMERICA. Yes, sure. Your country is more chantable than mine.
Okay. So with that, I'm Robert Tomlinson,
I am Joey Langdon.
and we will see you on Tuesday for the next episode of the CanUSA Olympic Show.